Hello and welcome to the House of Knowledge. My name is Katekaev Г.М, and the topic of our webinar is alternative sources of energy. So, commonly known sources of energy are hydroelectric energy, solar energy, wind energy, biomass energy, geothermal energy, and tidal power. All these sources of alternative energy are environmentally friendly. So some of them are releasing a very low amount of carbon emissions, while others are 100 clean. And it will successfully replace the fossil fuels such as coal, oil, and natural gas in the future for a cleaner and healthier environment. The energy demand on the planet is still covered mostly from fossil resources. But renewable energy projects such as large solar power plants and massive wind farms built both onshore and offshore are increasing their presence in many countries, which show that the clean future is closer than we thought. Despite the progress of renewable energy, many people don't realize that solar and wind uh, have only made a tiny dent in the energy mix thus far. The good news is that costs are coming down and many people are starting to adopt green technologies, but there is still a mountain to climb if we want to truly get off of fossil fuels on a large scale. To accomplish this, we are going to have to think outside the box to come up with new ways to tackle the energy challenge. Luckily, the scientists have put some of most promising alternative energy sources of the future in a handy infographic. Some of these may be long shots, but some may also play a crucial role in the energy mix of the future. So let's begin. Space-based solar. Most solar energy doesn't actually make it into the Earth's atmosphere, so space-based solar power makes a lot of sense. The challenges are the cost in getting a satellite to orbit, as well as the conversion of electricity into microwaves that can be beamed down to the planet's surface. Human power. There's over 7 billion people walking around the Earth each day. So why not generate power from the movement of people? Many experts believe that we can harness this energy, that we could use it to power our devices. Tidal power. Five countries around the world are starting to operate viable wave power farm operations, but the potential is far higher. The US coastline alone has a wave energy potential of about 220 and 52 billion kilowatts per year. Hydrogen power. Hydrogen is a clean and potent source of energy, and best of all, it accounts for 74% of the mass of the entire universe. The only problem is that hydrogen atoms tend to only be found in combinations with oxygen, carbon, and nitrogen atoms. Removing this bond takes energy, which ends up being counterproductive. As a result, many people around the world are working on making this process more economic. Magma power. The center of Earth is very hot, so why not try and get closer to it to tap into some geothermal heat? People in Iceland are already doing this with red hot magma after accidentally striking a pocket of it during a 2008 drilling project. Nuclear waste. Only 5% of uranium atoms are used in a traditional fission reaction. The rest end up in the pile of nuclear waste, which sits in storage for thousands of years. Researchers, Researchers and companies are trying to tap into these leftovers for a viable and economic energy solution. Embeddable solar power. What if every window could be easily turned into a solar panel? Solar windows technology turns any window or sheet of glass into a photovoltaic solar cell that harvests the part of the light spectrum that eyes can't see. Algae power. Algae grows practically anywhere, and it turns out these tiny plants are a surprising source of energy-rich oils. Up to 9,000 gallons of biofuel could be grown per acre, making it one of many potential energy sources of the future. Flying wind power. Winds are much more powerful and strong at higher elevations. If wind farms could be autonomous and flying, they could go to where the winds are strongest and deliver double the energy of similarly sized tower mounted turbines. Fusion power. Fusion has been the dream for some time, but scientists are making baby steps to achieving the power process that is harnessed in nature by our own sun. The ITER International Thermonuclear Experimental Reactor is currently being built in France, and it's one of the most complex scientific and engineering projects in existence. So why are we converting towards alternative energy resources? Multiple reasons. A lot of oil is found in unstable regions of religious fundamentalism, places we don't want to fund and places we don't want to be able to hold full supply sources such as Texas and the Middle East. Oil is a finite resource. It will run out. We need a replacement ready. Before that time, it will become prohibitively expensive, so we need a cheaper alternative. Investment in alternative creates high quality jobs and speeds up the time until cost cutover. Alternatives create little to no pollution, improving air quality. Burning fossil fuels is causing global warming, and the financial cost of which will be immense. How can alternative types of energy help to preserve the Earth's natural resources? So they don't necessarily preserve all of Earth's natural resources. What they preserve is the delicate balance of CO2 in our mostly nitrogen atmosphere. That delicate balance that has existed for perhaps a million years is what makes the planet habitable for us and the other living plants and creatures. If the planet were to heat up 3 or 4 degrees over 10,000 years, then species would evolve and survive. The rate of current heating life doesn't have a few hundred generations to evolve. We could see a couple or 3 degrees over a few decades. We'll not be able to move from all of the flood zones that we'll create. We'll not have time to manage new food crops. It goes on. Rats and cockroaches might be adaptable enough to survive. Insects seem to do fairly well, and microbes may hardly notice the difference. So, here's the list of advantages and disadvantages of alternative energy resources. So, methods, how it works, advantages, disadvantages. Solar. Solar cells turns the sun's energy into electricity. Advantage, no full cost, renewable, no pollution. Disadvantage, high initial cost, only works in sunlight, energy must be stored. Tidal energy, waves are constantly moving, water flows through turbines. No full cost, renewable, no pollution, generates energy 24/7, 365. Expensive to construct, needs proper location. Wind. Wind blows giant fans that generate electricity. No full cost, renewable, no pollution. High cost of construction and maintenance. Needs a windy location. Geothermal. The Earth's core is hot. Heat turns water into steam. Steam turns turbines. No full cost, no pollution, generates energy 24/7, 365. Geothermal stations are expensive to build. Needs to be set up in very specific places around the world. Hydroelectric. Dams are built. Water flows through turbines. No full cost, free once in a place. Renewable, infinite supply. No pollution, generates energy 24/7, 365. Expensive to construct, changes the environment. Biofuels, plant matter is broken down and releases bioethanol and biodiesel. can replace or be blended with petrol, reduced pollution by 50-90%, decreased fuel efficiency, uses potential food. My friends, now you know a lot about alternative source of energy, and if you want to find out a lot more, you can do it in the internet. Thank you very much for your attention, and thank you for choosing the House of Knowledge. Goodbye.